Good evening, everybody. It's 6 o'clock and we're starting on time tonight. My name is Dave McDonald. I'm the chairman of the Sewer Commission. And I would like to ask everybody to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And John, if you want to start us off, I have the flag.
Sure. I pledge allegiance
To the
flag
of the
United States of America,
to the republic for which it
stands one nation
under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. I can't shut it off, so. Correct. Okay. In accordance to the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and you'll be able to be found on the YouTube access channel after the meeting. The following information is provided for members of the public that would like to participate remotely. To participate remotely from your computer, please use the link to join us at the public meeting web bar found in the posted agenda, or from a telephone, dial toll-free 1-888-475-4499 and enter the web bar ID of #792-737-0353. I'd like to do a roll call of our members, and please say that you're here to affirm. Mike Knoll?
Confirmed.
Brett?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Rob?
C.
Bob?
Here.
And Jane?
Here.
And Bob, do we have any guests coming in tonight? I don't see any.
We do not.
Okay. I'd like to start this with public comments. Does anybody from the board have any public comment? And we'll start with John.
Actually,
That I can share.
Okay. Brett?
I just wanted to thank Jane for doing such a nice job on our part of the town meeting report. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Brett.
Second.
Thank you, Dave.
I'll second that.
Hi, thank you.
Mike, any public comment?
No, I'm good.
Rob, any public comment?
Nope.
Bob?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, announcements. Bob, go ahead.
I don't have any myself.
Anybody
Billing,
have-
I mean, we'll be working on the billing soon, but not yet.
Okay, current business is FY23, the draft sewer budget. Now, everybody got an update 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago. I just saw mine literally. So I mean,
Yeah,
Bob,
I didn't look at any of that.
I think, yeah, I think what we got to do, Bob, is if it comes in after 4 o'clock, don't send it out to the committee. It's kind of because we're all traveling, unless we're there in person.
I
But if
sent
you want-
it at 3. I just want to say, right?
Okay, well,
But anyway, I knew it was late.
yeah. Anything on meeting time, I would say, maybe a cutoff at 1 or 12.
Yeah.
Because again, we're all working. But if you want to go over to 23 budget, what do you got to highlight it?
Highlights. Well, as always, I'll start at the top. Revenues, I came up with, sorry. This is not good screen, $1,094,617, which is an increase of about 26,000 over FY22. Purchase of service, the entire area is usually well discussed between the Sewer Commission and the DPW director. So I did not, right now, what you'll have in front of you is just the same amounts as last year, and just to be discussed and figured out at our next meeting. Payroll has updates. We ended up this year, because we will need a new salary grid from the personnel committee for both Jane and I. There's that line we added in 3 years ago when it hasn't been determined yet at town meetings. So the values are the same as they were for me, the value is the same because I'm at the top of my grade as last year. And then we're going to be going to town meeting and asking for a cost of living increase. So there'll be a line on that that won't be confirmed. This is how the accountants wanted us to do it last year. So then we've got our position in there, our part-time assistant for $25,310. Hopefully we have somebody in place for July 1st. So we'll get a full year. And then, like I said, purchase of services, all the same. Utilities, pretty standard, but I mean, moving right along, nothing has been too far out of whack. Other departmental expenses, just for grins and giggles, a capital plan, we have appointed or allowed 100,000 for the FY22 budget. I just put in 50,000 to start. That's also a topic of conversation to be had. Leominster usage, last year, if you recall, we hadn't really had a full year of flow-based meters, so we kind of just took a shot in the dark and put it at 500,000. And right now we're projected to be about 484. So it was well,
Well, it wasn't a shot in the dark. We gave it some thought how we were going to
no,
do.
no, I know, but we were thinking we were going over. I think, it was higher than we thought. We just wanted to make sure we had enough.
Yeah.
And we were coming up pretty close. Right now we've spent with 3/4 of the year, 353,000, 354. So
our 22 budget is looking good.
Yep. Yeah. So far so good. And Fitchburg is all right. Nothing too surprising there.
What do you mean by going back and looking for an increase at town meeting?
Oh, for payroll?
Yeah,
My salary I'm at the top of the wage schedule. In my grade, there are no more steps, so there's no increases. And when people are at that position, you hope for a cost of living increase. So it has to be determined at town meeting. So last time this occurred, which was FY19, Karen had us put in a salary reserve.
okay. Now, right now, at the end of the 22 budget, how does it look? Are we putting any money back in retained earnings, or did we use all that money that we took out?
We are, hold on. It's hard to tell at this point. We are in the red, expenses over revenues right now, but that's because we are just about to do our Q3 billing, so it only reflects 50% of revenues. And yet we've transferred all of our town funds. We've transferred the Fitchburg capital full amount. So the expenses are higher, and some of the items won't increase. They are already transferred for the year. So it doesn't look great right now, but that's because the revenues have not been updated with the Q3 billing.
Mhm.
But otherwise, we're doing, I think the FY22 is looking very good.
What I like to do is, if you can, Barb, maybe during the week, next week, send out what you have for the budget, and let's start looking at it early. If you can send that out to the commission.
FY22 went out with the packages on Friday.
Yeah,
So
what do you
you
got for
have that one?
Yeah, but what do you got for 23? Have you started that at all? Is that what you sent us tonight?
Yes.
If everybody can look at that and try to blow it up. If not, stop at the DPW, Bob, if you could blow it up for everybody to read.
Yep.
Again, we're trying to simplify our budget process, but it's coming up quick, and which leads us into the Rob's presentation as far as how we doing on the maintenance, how we doing on that monies. Did we spend it all, or we gave Rob a lot of money then?
Yeah, we can talk about that more next week, but there is money still to be spent. I've got spring coming up, so I've got to look at some things, whether it's cammering, routine cammering, jetting. I didn't get to that this fall, so there's still things to be done.
I guess what I'm asking you to do is start thinking about what you need for fiscal year 2023. You
Sure.
have money left over from last year. I think, what did we give you last year? 100,000 plus? something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, and I think Barb already mentioned, but you've got 50,000 in there for sake of discussion for 23, correct? Is that what I heard you say, Barb?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah.
her and I will look at it, and I'll decide. I think the 100 was still generous, but like I said, I still have some spending to do, so that may impact what we do for 23.
Well, I mean, our major concern, at least mine, would be the pump stations, but let me just ask the board, John, what do you feel about it?
Well, pump stations are always my highest priority,
Okay.
especially that big one on Dana Street.
What happened what's on Dana Street?
What's that?
What's on Dana Street?
The Dana Street pump station. It's almost everything flows through that.
Okay, yeah. We haven't had any problems with that lately, though, have we?
Not that
No issues. I think we did some maintenance. We've replaced impellers and done some non-routine maintenance just because it needed to be done. So at the moment, knock on wood, it's in good shape there.
I think what I'm trying to say is that I really want to fund the maintenance thing next year. Brett, what do you feel about the budget?
I think the maintenance program is incredibly important. I think Rob's been doing a bang up job with it this year. We just need to keep it going. Keep an eye on the trouble spots. Those pumps need attention, and Rob's on it. And our maintenance people are paying attention. So between them and Rob, I think we're in good shape. We got to keep it going.
Mike, do you have any comments?
Just kind of following right along with everybody else. The pump stations are the heart of it all. And as far as preventive maintenance, I've always been about preventive maintenance because hopefully it leads to less call outs, less problems down the road.
Bob, have you read the contract from MP? Are they due for an increase this year? Or is that next year? We're in year 2 of their contract.
Yeah, there will be another increase. We're going into year 3.
We're going into year 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that in the budget?
That entire, like I said, that purchase of service section has not been adjusted yet. So no, it's not. That is just no change from FY22 budget numbers at this time. I will update it though with that figure.
And before we go on to the next category, I just got a question for Rob. How are we doing on the maintenance of the generators?
That I think we've done. We had the company do it. I know Al has changed some batteries and stuff, so they've been done. Barb, you and I can catch up on that contract. I don't remember if that was that just a single year contract with the maintenance company for the generators?
The intent was to renew it, and
Yeah.
I think it's with Al. I have not seen it,
We'll
but I
talk to him.
know he's actively working with the generators, so.
We can
I'll
mention
check
that
on
to him. Yeah, we'll mention it to him tomorrow when he comes in. But yeah, the maintenance work on the generators has been done.
My concern is that in fact, I'll ask you, what's your latest forecast for the town of Lunenburg on Saturday?
I'm gonna plead the fifth like the meteorologists are doing. They're not saying yet. It looks like we could get a big storm. It's gonna depend on the track. It could move south. But the last report I saw, it's gonna hug the coast and hit us pretty good. They're not calling out totals yet, but this should be, as of this season, this will probably be the bigger storm so far.
And we should tell the people at home that you sit in the office at the computer with this huge screen with radars and all this kind of technical equipment, and you got Barbara holding the wind factor up on the roof. So, I really respect your weather forecast. So I'm just worried that we do get power outages that our generators are working. That's all.
And Rob, just remember, Lancaster Ave is the main artery of Lunenburg.
It's on our mains list. It gets done right away.
Yeah, so is an Island Road. I think Cove Road is another main artery, isn't it, Brett, over there? Okay. ARPA funding.
Oh, just, I don't know if it was Barb or Dave or Rob mentioned that we're headed into year 3 of our maintenance contract. Typically, when we redo that, we're up against a pretty tight deadline, so let's just try to keep it on the radar this year, so we're working on it ahead of time. That's just thinking out loud there.
Good point.
Question I would have, do we have to rebid every 3 years or can we re-up?
We can only do 3-year contracts. Well, unless you have approval of the selectmen for something longer.
Maybe we ought to talk to them about that. We can't extend this contract, but you know what I mean, instead of going out to an RFP again.
Yeah, that's certainly something we can talk to town manager about.
I mean, I think
That was not directed at Barb or Rob. I mean, in general.
no, I agree with you. It's just that 3 years, by the time you do it 3 years, you're already, you know the system and everything. It's just a pain in the butt to have them rebid something again, if we can extend it. So maybe we should be going to a 5-year contract, I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, what do you guys think of that?
Well, I mean, I think it's written in there that it, we have our out clause, so I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Well, that's coming up. I actually, it's next year for the renewal, isn't it, Bob?
Right.
So we got a year to look at that, John.
Well, right, we're headed into the 3rd year.
Right.
My point is that it just seems, as long as I've been involved, we've always sort of been behind the 8 ball at getting it out. So I just want us to remember to tackle it early enough this year.
Yep.
So that's all.
So the anniversary on that, we signed them on late. So isn't that September? I think their effective date was.
No, the first year was September to June, and then this one was July 1st on. So it's a fiscal year calendar.
So John's right. I mean, we get some time to look at it, but we should do it this year get it done before. Is that what you're saying, John? Before the next fall?
Right. I'd like us to issue this before we go past the deadline. That's all.
Got it.
I mean, I don't want to dwell on it. Just,
I hear it.
it was brought up, and I just want us to look at it early enough this time around. That's all. Us meaning both the commission and the sewer department.
Okay. Anybody else have comments on that? Okay. Let's go with the ARPA funding, Rob.
So last week I kind of gave an update. There's a little bit of guidance that Barbara had come up with from the federal government. And it looks like for a sewer type project, we'd have to be an SRF funded type project. It looks like they're going to get higher priority. I don't really have any other information than that, other than what I do have coming up is this Thursday. Heather has scheduled a Zoom meeting with a consultant that's going to help the town with the ARPA funding that we're receiving. That's a Zoom meeting, so I'm attending that. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Barb, maybe you and I talked about this. It might be good if one of the commission members is able to listen in on that as well, just to kind of see what's going on and for their own information. So if any of you are interested, I'll confirm with town manager that we can do that, but I don't see it as being a problem if you're interested in.
When is the meeting?
It's Thursday at 1.
This Thursday at 1?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I know I can't make it.
I won't be able to make that either.
If it's recorded, we'll try and I'll see if it can be made available to you.
Brett, if you're interested, you'll be good for this too, and Mike.
I'm not gonna be able to make that.
I was gonna say, if it's recorded, but
Okay, but the invitation's there, so maybe you want to send that out to Mike Tavakis too, see if he wants to listen for a while. And that's this Thursday, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. If it was Friday, I can do it. Can you change it to Friday? Schedule's just too tight. Okay, what else, Rob? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, Upland Easton Ave with White Street Extension. What was the top of that?
We have, we've received the Wright Pierce contract. I just want to get a verbal. Everyone got it in the package last Friday. I'm hoping it had been reviewed by council. It's been signed by Wright Pierce. And as long as the sewer commission gives us maybe votes to approve, and if at least 3 members can come in to the DPW and sign off on it, I can get something to Kevin and they can commence work.
Are you looking for a vote on this?
Yes, please.
So we need a motion to sign the, bless you,
Excuse me.
bless you. We need a motion to sign the, to approve it.
Wright Pierce contract for the cost of $13,200 for work on engineering design of the Upland Eastern White and Maple Parkway extension.
Rob, have you looked at this?
I have.
You agree with it?
Yep, I'm all set with it.
Okay, looking for a motion to accept the contract for $13,200 for Wright Pierce in regards to Upland Ave and White Street Extension.
So motioned.
Looking for a second.
I'll second that.
Go ahead.
Any discussion? All in favor, roll call vote. John?
Aye.
Brett?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
And I for myself.
Okay, and if people can come by and just sign, it would be appreciated.
Okay,
Sure. What time do you get in, Barb?
7:30,
What?
7:30.
I thought you get in at 7, no? That's,
Bob is in at 7. It'll be here at 7, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, if anybody wants to come in earlier, I'm in at 7.
make a coffee there, so Rob will buy your coffee at the DPW.
You gotta wait for the K cup to brew, so you might as well buy your own.
Hey, the Fitchburg sewer use ordinance. Are we gonna get this off our agenda someday, Barb?
Are we?
Huh?
That's my question.
Yeah, are we? What do we got?
Well, there have been more changes. We've got council has weighed in on Jeff Moraski's updates, and that has been sent off to everybody. And I didn't know how you want to do it, if you want to review them, go through it one by one. There are two sections where council's asking for committees or the commission's input. And we can just zero in on those or whatever you'd like to do.
What do we gotta do to get this done so we can get it back to Fitchburg for approval?
Right. Section, the section on criminal penalties,
Yep.
section 6-3, page 52 of the regs, Jeff's comment 31. Council just had the question. I'll read his entire comment. I'd recommend that in Article 6, Section 2, Paragraph C, everything including and following shall upon conviction be guilty of ... quote, be deleted, end of quote, be deleted in its entirety, and like Paragraph B, be replaced with may be held criminally liable to the extent allowed by law, end of quote. And then he added, the commission may choose to retain and alter the last sentence of Paragraph C to state this penalty shall be in addition to any civil fine or cause of action for personal injury or property damage available under state law.
My recommendation would be let the attorney put in his recommendations. Because we're gonna approve it, we're gonna approve what the attorney say anyways. Am I not mistaken on that? Have them do the corrections and send us the whole thing completed.
Well, that's what I put them in there. And this was just the addition. I didn't know. I mean, he's asking for the commission, I keep saying that, to add that one line. And I'm assuming if he puts it in there as a suggestion, that is his recommendation.
Yeah, I would totally go along with that. So You want a vote on that to accept the lawyer's recommendations?
Sure, on
I mean,
section,
we're
Six-
also on, section 6-3, criminal penalties.
right. And if anybody caught it, Jeff Morosky's comments referred to section 6-2, but that was a duplication. Criminal penalties is actually 6-3. So
The only question I have on this is that we made recommendations to Fitchburg. Did Fitchburg accept our recommendations as well?
they came back. That's what all these review notes are. That was this document that had the black and the red
Yeah,
was Jeff Morosky's reaction to our changes. Most of them were accepted there, but there were 33 points he wanted to make. Some of them were just punctuation marks or fonts, but that was his response. Now council has come back, given us 33 yays or nays or recommendations. So we're getting there. As soon as you approve it tonight, it will go back to, if it's approved tonight, go back to Fitchburg, as this is what we propose, and they have to look at what council has changed and accept it.
okay, so just for review, and let me know if I'm wrong, what we're going to give you input on tonight would be section 6-3, criminal penalties. On page 52 of the regulations, comment number 31, council notes, page 7 of 8. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, so section 2, section 4-3, discharges docs, change or simplifies, sent to sewer council suggests. Is that correct?
that is
Paragraph-
a second change that it just requires commission's input.
Go ahead.
He had given us his full change, and that was his notes on item number 18.
Yeah.
And then number 19, he goes to say, or you can just simplify it because it really is Fitchburg or Leominster's issue, because they're the ones that monitor the SIUs, the significant industrial users.
Yep.
So I had sent that language earlier. When did I send it? Sent that, yes, this morning, because it was from council hours yesterday.
Okay.
Where he gave us just a 1 paragraph substitution for
Yeah.
section 4-3 discharge documents, and
Yeah.
whether you would accept that.
Okay. And the next one would be number 3, see any need to go through technical consultant, RO, question mark.
That's my own notes.
That's okay. And the fourth-
Originally we had, Adam had said, I am a lawyer. I am not technical. And just as I am with pre-treatment and the verbiage in the contract with all the EPA requirements and regulations, he was just saying, I am not an expert, and I'm giving you what I believe is what I should, as legally we should have in the regs. I don't know, at this point, I think Jeff, or now his replacement, Mark, who is an interim deputy, are the technical people, and they're trying to make sure we're going to stay by the book.
and
So
I mean,
I'm not sure if we still want to delay it even again to send it out to a consultant.
Yeah, I would say no. I mean, but that's my opinion. But I think let's handle this now. And what I would say is that a motion should be put out there that we, the sewer commission, would accept the recommendations of the attorney for section 5-3, 4-3. Am I missing any more, Bob?
4-3, which is the discharge documents, and then the 6-3, which is criminal penalties, adding in the sentence that council suggested.
Okay, that would be the motion I would put out there, unless anyone has any questions. So the motion would be to accept our legal advice and change those categories that we just talked about. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the changes to 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, as council recommends.
I'll second that motion.
4-3 and 6-3. Sorry, it's just two sections. We're
Just
talking.
two, no five? Okay,
No five.
so, okay, 4-3 and 6-3 as council.
Jane, Jane, do you have all that? You want us to say it again? One more time? Okay, we'll say it again. Bob, why don't you say it again? The motion for,
Mike is making the motion to accept sections 4-3 and 6-3 as council has recommended
yep,
to the Fitchburg Chapter 147 regulations.
You sounded just like me, Bob.
you get that, Jane? Okay, good. So we have a motion, looking for a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on it? The only discussion I have is that I really like to wrap this up because we've been working on this. Brett and I worked on it starting last March, I think. Is that right? Bob, so
Yep, probably.
whatever we can do to wrap it up. Okay, roll call vote. John,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
and I for myself. Okay, next
Right,
one.
I will send it off.
All right, thanks.
I would also, at this point, they're going to take it back. Once they say yes, they do need to be accepted at our next town meeting, the regulations. So at the same time, I would recommend working through the policies that we've discussed over the last couple years to update certain policies in our regs and have them all done at the same time. You have to have 2 public hearings at this point based on our regulations. So my suggestion or my request is to try to get any policies that we wanted adjusted done at the same time in concert with these Chapter 147 changes.
All right, so that's going to have to be a priority. So can you make the list and put them on the next agenda? That we can discuss them?
Yep.
And a couple of the policies, one would probably, that I like to see is the easement policy. And Rob, I don't know if you have any policies you want to review?
I do. I know Barb probably has better notes than I do. So we'll get together and talk about it. I know that I had some issues with some of the fees, the reconnection fee, which I think is what, Barb, $1,000.
Yep.
I kind of question that. Yeah, I have a few things.
All right, so while you do that, maybe the board, if you guys have any more things you want to look at for changing policies, can you send them to Barb? And I think, John, you're shaking your head over there. I think you have a couple
Fine.
too.
Well, the 2 that I had were the easement and reconnection fees, so.
Yeah. Okay, and I think there was another one that we wanted to talk, the grease trap policy, probably, maybe that's going to change or not, I don't know.
Final read,
No,
prorating.
no.
What was that, Barb?
Also just the final read proration we've discussed.
Yep. I like to,
There's been several.
I really like to look at it and let's try to get as much as we can that we've been hindering on over the last year and a half or 2 years. You know, I know we're just coming out of COVID. We've learned a lot, and some of these policies, and Rob, you and I have talked about a couple of them that it just doesn't make sense. So if we can change some of them, now's the time to hit the ball out of the park. Which, by the way, David Ortiz just got elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
He did. All right.
Get a notice on it.
Great.
Big Papi. Okay,
First time up.
yeah. Annual town meeting warrants.
Just, we all know, I think that the warrant is open. Articles have to be submitted by March 21st. The town meeting is May 7th this year. I'm expecting in one of the next, maybe not the next agenda, the one after that, to submit the article suggestions. It would be our normal budget articles that are there every annual meeting. The policy changes, hopefully we'll be able to get those onto the warrant as well. Bylaw is also to be adjusted because the easement is in that, is under the sewer districting bylaw. So we've got both bylaw and regulations that need to be addressed at town meeting. And then we will have that citizens petition to expand sewer service area at 5 Chestnut. So that's what I know about at this point. So it's going to be a busy little town meeting season.
Okay. What else we have for warrants? Rob, do you have anything else in there we need to throw in for a warrant?
I don't know.
Draft annual report, Barb. How we doing on the draft annual report?
That was also sent. That was last minute. And I apologize again. It's been a busy couple weeks with things going on. So we'll have it on the February 8th agenda, which is our next meeting.
Yeah, did you send it out?
I did.
With the package or today?
No, it was just out, like, that was the latest one that you just got.
And that's one Jane did?
Yep.
Thank you, Jane. Haven't read it yet, but thank you. All right, search for the assistant business manager.
It's been
Wow.
posted with the Mass Municipal Association's website, which hopefully will give us some people with the municipal experience. We've had a good candidate come forward that's interested. We're just trying to see if there's any others out there. They did come up with a town manager advised, or the HR assistant town manager advised that not unfortunately, but a change to the plan is that this position will now be under the clerical union contract and not under the SAP, which is how we had proceeded and had operated under that assumption throughout the year. Now has changed over to the clerical union, but the timing is right because they're doing up a memorandum of agreement right now, and the position should be added, so it should not hold up hiring.
Okay.
So we're just waiting to see if there's any more applications, and I think if not, we'll act upon the candidate that we've got.
I know the sewer commission requested to have you and Rob in on the interviews. Is that being done?
Yes.
Any questions on the assistant town manager? It's open for you guys too. Brett, if you want a job, there's a good one for you.
Sorry, what was that last part?
If you want to take a job, we have an assistant town manager's business, assistant.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, I'm all over that. Okay, next category is the town caucus. We have openings on the commission coming up for the elections of 5/21/22. John Reynolds it started on June 20th, June 2020 to May 2022. Mike, you started on May 2021. You're up in 2022. Brett and Mike are up in 2023, and I'm 2024. I hope John and Mike, you guys consider running. I will tell you now, though, that I probably will not be the chair at the next meeting. I would like to see somebody else take over the chair position.
The next meeting or the next?
The next election cycle, So this is an opportunity for new faces on the board. But I hope Mike and John, you guys reconsider and stay on board, and we're just making some good progress. And Rob, we have to thank you for all the progress that we've been doing, because you've done a good job at the helm. So we appreciate that. And Bob, I'm not going to keep on saying how great you guys are, because you're going to ask for a raise. So it's not in the budget, but you guys have really stepped up during especially the last 2 years. And Rob, how long have you been with us now? A year? Just over a year?
Just over a year.
Yeah. And it's been a hell of a year, hasn't it? I mean,
Been crazy.
But it is fun being on this commission. So that's our terms. Town caucus is going to be on, when is the town caucus, Bob? It's March. Next,
But I had it March.
they
something.
announced it, right? It's usually in
Yeah.
March.
Yeah, March. I want to say 21st, but that might be when
Okay.
sometime.
So any questions on that?
You have to live in this state to be on the commission?
I'm sorry?
You have to live in the state of Massachusetts to be on the sewer commission?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Unless you're in New Hampshire. It's live free or die. What do you want me to tell you? Okay, any questions on town caucus and our, what do you call it? Our terms, so. Next one's minutes. Everybody read the minutes?
I did, and I do have one suggested change.
Okay.
The 5 Chestnut Street conversation. I believe when it came up last, it says here that it was brought up a couple of years ago, but I believe it was just last year that he came before us with all those units. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Just to clarify it.
It was the one that came last year. In fact, Jamie Rowe, Brett, if you remember, did the presentation. And then all of a sudden they withdrew it. Do you remember that, Brett?
They withdrew it before the fall town meeting, didn't they?
Yeah, remember we were sitting there and we had, geez, I think 2 or 3 meetings on it. And-
Yeah.
And just when the big one was gonna hit, Jamie sent us an email and said that he withdrew the application at that time. That was that last fall town meeting, Rob, you're correct. So he's back. I guess I didn't see the meeting, but it's under a different, he's doing something different with a horse hospital or something.
Yep, ASPCA,
Yeah,
horse rescue.
I guess he's still building units too, so. And I know he bought a piece of property behind the house on the corner of, was that Mass Ave and Chestnut Street, Barb? The White
Yep.
House, yeah,
I don't know if he's purchased it yet. He was talking about it.
yeah.
But to
But he-
Brett's point, I think he's right. I don't think it was a couple of years ago. That's all.
No, and the problem with minutes is that it's accurate that he said it, that Rich Blanchflower or Greg Roy said a couple years ago in the
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
We could put a parentheses or something just to
No,
say,
that's fine. That you bring up a good point. I think it's fine the way it is.
Okay, I'm on board with that.
So how many minutes you have? You just have the 111 meeting?
yes.
So I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes on
Well,
111.
hold on. Do we have enough who were there? There was me and
John,
Brett.
Brett, and Mike Knoll.
3 of us.
Okay, sorry. Yep.
I know you 3 were there.
Yeah, all right, I'll make the motion. Make a motion that we accept the minutes from the January 11th Sewer Commission meeting, January 11th, 2022.
And I'll second those.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Brett, you satisfied with your concerns?
Aye.
No, are you satisfied with your concerns?
I'm just having a little trouble catching that last comment.
Are you satisfied with the changes or the lack
I'm
of?
totally fine with it. Yes, sir.
Okay, so no discussion, looking for a vote, roll call vote. John,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Brett?
Aye.
And I abstain from the vote. Okay, business managers report. You're on, Bob.
We've got just one establishment still outstanding for the December logs that were due on January 4th. They're usually late. This seemed to be a bad month, but anyway, I will pursue getting it in. Everybody else that had been outstanding has submitted. And I have invoices from Fitchburg for $15,094.25. Again, it is the amount we provided based on flow meters, so it's just kind of an acknowledgement by the commission that it's okay to pay, if that's all right. And then I have Mead Tollerman invoice, and just pointing out that we had not received any invoices from council since the end of September. But this one makes up for it. It's for $1,082.26. but it is based on all the work that Adam did on the regulations for Fitchburg. I know he spent quite a long time on them. We also had Mead Tollerman look and review and approve the Wright Pierce contract. So it is a total of 6.1 hours of lawyer attorney time for $1,082.26. If that's okay with you, I will process them for payment.
Are you looking for a vote on this, on the
No.
Fitchburg?
Just an acknowledgement that we're okay.
John, you okay?
Yeah, I think it actually was money well spent. So yes, I'm fine.
Okay. Mike, you okay?
Pay the bill.
Brett, you okay?
I'm good.
Hey, I'm cool, man. Pay the bill.
Okay. And the
Yeah.
last thing is to, we've used Munis's name forever. Munis or Tyler Technologies is going to be changing it on us to Enterprise ERP. So if you hear me start talking ERP, you'll know why.
Is it any better with the new name?
I doubt it. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, which, yeah,
I could
But
come
that
up with
starts-
some others.
that stuff starts next month, February of 2022.
Okay.
So no more swearing about Munis anymore.
At least ERP is way more fun to say.
Sounds like indigestion. Okay,
It will be.
action items. Anybody have any action items? I don't have any. John, Mike, Brett,
No.
Rob, you got any action items?
Nope.
Public comment. Is there any public comment from the public? I see none out there. Do you have any, Bob?
I do not.
And any public comment from the board? John,
Nope.
Mike,
Nope.
Brett?
No, sir.
Okay, upcoming schedule for the sewer commission is February 8th, 6 PM, regular meeting. And again, we're going to keep remote participation. February 22nd, that's going to be 2/22/22. Is going to be a 6 PM regular meeting, again, Zoom. But we are going to start looking at March. All the numbers are starting to look good with COVID, and hopefully cases will be down going into March. Hopefully we have a good February, but the cases are changing a little bit, but please wear your masks and be courteous of other people and try to be good out there. With that, I'm looking for an adjournment, a motion to adjourn.
So motioned.
Okay, second,
I'll second that.
roll call vote. Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Knopf,
Aye.
Mr. Ramson.
Aye.
And I for myself. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night, Lunenburg.
I say, Mike, where's your comment there? You gotta throw that
Here we
in.
go.
Good night, Rob. Bye, James.
Night, all.
Right.
Night.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks
Bye-bye.
all.